Hello, hello, hello. I am just waiting to see if Gio comes tonight or if I have any messages from her. Today is her birthday, so it's perfectly understandable if she does not come. I will forgive her anything. But the group is down to just the two of us, I think. So if she does not come in the next few minutes, then I guess we are not going to have a meeting tonight. So let's see if I have any messages. And I'm talking.
Okay, I'm on.
There you are. So I was just sitting here talking to the camera without my headphones on.
And what happened? No,
I guess my mouth was moving and nobody could hear what I was saying. But I was saying I was waiting on you and that today is your birthday. So it was perfectly understandable if you didn't come. I would forgive you anything.
Oh, that's good. But I couldn't leave you hanging. It's just you.
And I was just saying, I guess the group is just the two of us. So if Jill doesn't come, there's no meeting tonight. Happy birthday.
Oh, thank you so much. And thank you for the beautiful post. I was trying, that's why I was late. I was like going through, because I got up late, of course, because I'm Dracula's daughter. But okay. I was trying to go through, I got to say thank you and put my little, things on there, letting people know I appreciate it, their thoughts.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. Have you had a nice day?
Yeah, so far it's been just beautiful. I'm not afraid to say I'm 59, I'm pushing up on 60, and it doesn't feel any different than, 10 years ago.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I have passed the big 60.
No, I don't believe it. You look good. Yeah. No.
Yeah, no, I am 62.
All right, go ahead, girl. Go ahead. Well, you keep it together, okay? Because
I don't know about all that. I have been
some 30-year-old. And hard life, wasn't it? No, but no.
Yeah. No, I think if it weren't for my autoimmune condition, that I would feel, pretty good at this age. But that particular condition, fatigue is one of the main things that the medicine doesn't help with. And so the fatigue is what makes me feel old. And like this week, I have just been barely able to get out of bed. So, I don't know. But I mean, I have my good days and my not so good days. So, and I don't know, if it's related to the weather, with the changing weather or something I ate. I did hang out with Rick. Remember Rick?
Yeah.
I did hang out with Rick on Sunday and I stuffed my belly and I had 2 glasses of bourbon.
Oh, okay. You had a good time. That's not.
And those are not normal things that I do. So I think my body might be just trying to recover from like, okay, what the hell?
Yeah, because bourbon ain't no joke, okay? You probably are recuperating. It's okay. Oh, well, but a little spontaneity and shaking it up a bit is probably good for your mental health. So
it was because I hadn't seen him in a long time. I think that might be even the first time I've seen him in person since COVID.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. So we're going to do better.
Okay. Well, just imagining, just a little exposure I had to Rick. I'm sure he had you laughing because he's a character.
He is. He really is.
Well, that's good. I'm glad you had a good time.
Yeah. So, I guess we should talk about this book for as long as we feel like it.
Okay.
But no specific time limits because it's just us.
Right. Well, I do have to say I need to be done at 7. So.
Okay. Well, we will definitely do that. So I did write a summary of these chapters. I just posted it. I didn't even post it everywhere, but I did put it in the session 17 on the same area where the link is to come in here.
Okay.
So I will read it because I think I have it open. Let me get to it. Yeah, so I don't know. So this is our experiment with doing the whole of section 5. We'll see how that works. I didn't do anything fancy with it because I just got it done a little while ago.
Okay, that's fine with me.
And it's long because there were several chapters here. The remaining chapters of Song 5 focus on, of course, well, we didn't do introductions, so Song 5 of the Love Songs of W.E.B. Du Bois by Honorée Fanonne Jeffers. And my name's Michelle Odom. I'm in Brooklyn, New York. And Gio?
And I'm Georgette Moses, and I'm joining you from Columbia, South Carolina.
At the end of your 50s. Wow.
It is the end of 5. Yes, isn't it?
Yeah, the end of an era. That's pretty cool. Remaining chapters of Song 5 focus on Belle Garfield and her new life with her new husband, Jeff, and baby Lydia up north during the 1960s. In You Made Me Love You, Belle, still in college down south, decides she wants to become a college teacher and will attend Columbia University. Instead, she meets Jeff, a light-skinned northern boy, over a book and begins a courtship. Early in their relationship, her brother Roscoe is killed by a chain gang by a prison guard, and Belle takes comfort making love with Jeff. A pregnant Belle recalls Miss Rose's loving reaction when a high school girl died during a botched self-abortion attempt. Miss Rose had suggested several alternative methods that would have been safer and let her daughter know she could always come home with the baby. Belle and Jeff marry after he impregnates her, and he is welcomed by her family at the hastily planned wedding. Don't Let Me Lose This Dream features Uncle Ruth's guidance on traveling up north while Black. Belle and Jeff go to meet his family after graduation and are coolly received by Miss Claire. Cultural differences are clear when she meets her brother-in-law, Lawrence's new wife, Diane, a white woman who calls Miss Claire by her first name. Belle was lonely in the early days of being up north, but meets a southern grocer, Miss Martha, who predicts Belle is carrying a girl and befriends her. A very pale Lydia is born, but the new baby does not improve Belle's relationship with Miss Claire. Belle does not want to visit her in-laws for the weekly Sunday dinner and asks a dependent Jeff to stand up for her. In the spring, Belle visits her friend Miss Martha and reveals the sadness she's felt since the baby's arrival. And a change is going to come. Belle develops a routine in her new home of caring for her toddler, having Bible study with Miss Martha, feeling guilty about voiding Miss Claire's Catholic, predominantly white church, and friendship with Diane. She's shocked Jeff doesn't believe in God, misses her country lifestyle, and never much liked her brother-in-law, Lawrence, who passes. Diane and Lawrence broke up because she believes he was cheating, but Jeff assures Belle he is a loyal man. Like an oxymoron. Belle pours her hopes into a different future for Lydia, as Diane's Irish mother had done for her. The first riot in the city was sparked by police brutality in 1967. Diane and Lawrence reconcile. Belle miscarries a child she didn't want. Belle and Jeff are joined by Diane and Lawrence on the night MLK is assassinated. Various family members reach out to Belle to share the news, including Uncle Root, who recalls hearing King preach at Ebenezer and attending the March on Washington, where he learned about Du Bois's passing. In town for the march, he stayed with a gay friend, Freddie Hamilton. After the riot, Miss Martha sold the store and returned south. Belle did not care much for the short-skirted city girl who bought the store and assured her the brothers would take over and change everything. Belle missed her southern home, but her northern husband did not relate. Do Right Woman, Do Right Man moves from the traumatic sounds of the bull inseminating the cow to the hot grits the meek Jolene threw on her cheating husband, J.W. James. Belle had seen some models of marriage growing up in her small town and wanted none of it. After the riot, police brutality increased, as well as anger over the Moynihan report implying Black women had castrated Black men. Negroes became Black and beautiful, refusing to cut and perm their hair, wearing Afrocentric clothes, and referring to each other as brother and sister. Belle didn't quite know what to make of the change and sought counsel from Miss Rose, who assured her she did not want to look nappy and crazy. The very light Jeff joins the changing ways by sporting a dashiki. He takes Belle to a community meeting and reads Strong Men by Sterling A. Brown. Oh, I had meant to share that poem. Anyway, Belle is not impressed by Zulu Harris, the revolutionary talk, or how Chairman Mao neglects to include women. Diane explains to Belle that Jeff is a male chauvinist, but Belle disagrees. While smoking a joint, Diane invites Belle to a women's group. It's rumored that Zulu is Black Panther. FBI spies are everywhere. Zulu asks Jeff to help in starting a health clinic before he has completed medical school, and Belle to bring more mac and cheese. Before long, Belle is making large meals for the movement meetings, but soon tires of this role. Jeff tries to persuade her to keep it up. Dismissive of Zulu's polygamous lifestyle, Belle sees her job as taking care of her own husband and child. Diane tries to convince Belle that Jeff is a chauvinist and she should leave him to become a liberated woman. Belle sees Jeff as a good husband and does not want to become a welfare queen as she sees her cousin. Evelyn Dawson leads the fundraising on behalf of Oscar Brady. After the community meeting, Jeff says he is going to get lecture notes from a classmate and asks Zulu to take Belle home. Zulu makes himself at home and asks Belle for a meal. When Jeff returns the next evening saying he was at Zulu's, Belle catches him in a lie. Belle makes an Afrocentric transition. She notices the change in her husband's attitudes to her and Zulu's attraction. She asks Jeff to leave. Belle plans to go home to Miss Rose, but stops to meet with the other woman, Evelyn Dawson. Evelyn has no shame about her relationship with Jeff, which she sees mostly as listening to his ideas on the movement. Belle confronts Jeff at a community meeting, and he tells Evelyn he must return to his family. Zulu walks Belle home, and she wants this Sidney Poitier look-alike polygamist inside her, but she's pregnant again. So, a lot going on in Song 5, but one thing I did notice is I think this is the only song section that we've read that did not include Africa or, the early history of the family. Mm-hmm. It was like really just about Belle and her her growing up kind of, or early adult days.
Yeah. And it kind of gives a insight into who they were when we were first introduced to them,
Yeah.
A lot, It really fleshes them out.
Yeah.
And it includes some historical pieces in there as you see their transition. But well, I really got a sense of how light Jeff is in this section, right?
Yeah.
He's that light. Okay.
As well as the rest of his family, his parents and brother. And the part where Belle, I think it was Uncle Root that suggested that Belle should ride in the back seat.
Yeah.
When they drive up north, so that she could be considered the maid.
Yeah. It's like those kind of considerations feel so, I don't know, alien to me, that you would have to do these things just because people looked so different. And I'm so glad it's I hope it's mostly over these days. It depends on where you're traveling, right?
Yeah. I mean, it has been mostly over, but of course they'd like to bring all that kind of stuff back if we let them.
Yeah, we can't let them. We can't let them. We ain't going back. We can't
let them. Yeah. But it so yeah, the lightness, even her baby Lydia, I didn't realize Lydia was that light.
Neither did I. But sadly, it made me think of the story my mom used to tell me, because she was much darker than I was. And, they separate you from the baby in the hospital. And she said, the nurse brought a baby who looked like her. And she said, no, that's not my baby. I know what my baby looks like.
Wow.
So obviously, this is a thing that happened often in hospitals. So I wonder how many, parents, if they didn't, get to see their baby at the time of birth, maybe who got switched up in the hospital.
Right. Yeah, and it also had me thinking about my grandmother, who was dark skinned, and she never much liked my mother, who was light skinned. And I don't know. It just made me wonder if it was the color, that caused that kind of chill between them. It wasn't as a chilly a relationship as Miss Claire and Belle, but somewhere on that continuum of
can't we all just get along? Okay. Okay, because if they run your DNA.
Yeah. But no, this was so much of a big deal, back then. And, to a certain extent, I guess it still is for some people,
Well, I think a lot of that's going on in our current history is a result of who controls the media, right? Who our young people get to see as fabulous or successful, and what roles they play in influencing.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I think, we need to really control the narrative and the source of where we get our visual and auditory information, where it's coming from.
Absolutely. One thing we're seeing more of, I'm seeing more of, is just real life examples of Black women with white men, like Ketanji Brown Jackson or Kamala Harris, and so I don't know if that is representative of changing times. I always remember when when Kim said, yeah, Black women didn't need to do that because we had tasted the fruit.
That's right. She did say that. Oh my goodness.
So I don't know if we're at a new stage of development, where Black women and white men can be together in a healthy way.
Yeah, that's the key, isn't it? Right? Keeping other people out of your relationship. And I'm thinking about Serena Williams, you know, and her commentary. I mean, if she married the guy, you know, and if he loved her, he treated her respectfully, like the way she wanted to be loved and treated, fine. But then I found out she said it was, you know, really she gravitated toward him because of how Black men had been treating her. And I'm like, well, how they been treating you? And who you been hanging out with? Because all the dudes that I hear, you know, well, which are their commentary on Serena is like, they adore her. So I don't know who dudes were that she was hanging out with, but I guess they were the wrong guys. So, but as long as she's happy, you know, that's what matters. And you create the family that you want, and then you're nurturing children that are deeply rooted in a history of themselves, so they can bring something to the world, right? And knowing that it's not about them per se or what they look like, but it's what they do that matters. So, and I think if you can do that, doesn't matter who you marry, right? You don't even have to get married, but you know, just make it work. And well, because look at Goldie Hawn and Kurt Russell. I'm like, them two hippies, they still making it work after all these years, right? So I'm like, that is an example of people who kind of like shut out the noise and then kept their relationship together despite everything. So, hey, if it works, have at it.
Yeah. So this section still felt pretty shallow to me. Because, all right, take those whole segments where they're having the community meetings. Like, to me, those were perfect places to really insert some substantive content. But I guess that's just really not what she's doing. And if I want to write the book like that, I should write it. She wrote it the way she wanted to write it. But I just feel like she misses opportunities, you know, in places like that. She mentions a lot of stuff. But, you know, she's just on to the next thing. So,
yeah.
You know, so this section, more than any, I felt like she really had, you know, because like you're not going to have like necessarily deep conversations going on between, you know, sisters or country folk or, you know, just regular everyday people living their everyday lives. But these were political meetings going on in the community at a time of intense change and passion and, you know, intellectual development going on. And so, you know, I just feel like she really, I don't know.
Well, yeah. And as I read it, I wondered if what Karen would say about it, if this was less a bit of candy, if it had a little bit more meat in it, but I definitely see what you're saying, like the character of Zulu, you know, there was opportunity there to really get into that philosophy and development, but it was treated very, very superficially. And then even Evelyn, you know, this Black empowered, you know, tremendously Afro wearing, you know, sister, you know, well, what made her tick, you know, just a little, but you know, I guess the book's already 100 pages, you know, going in deep. And then the three wives, you know, What made them feel like that was okay, you know?
Right. We didn't hear from them at all.
No.
And Zulu got the nerve to be out, chasing them.
I mean, he you know what? For me, he began to resemble the Jack Lake preacher, only in a dashiki.
Yeah.
And I think for a minute, that's how Belle was looking at him, but she was lonely, right? And so he did, he got that Sidney Poitier thing going on, and she was all in. This ain't bad, okay. What's Jeff doing? Right. I don't know. Okay.
And I knew when we got to that part where Diane suspected that Lawrence was cheating on her. And then Jeff made that comment about being, that he was loyal, that he would never do. I knew those were going to be famous last words.
Right. I'm like, okay, the stage is getting set for some stuff to go down. Okay. Jeff has clay feet.
Yeah. But so anyway, I'm gonna try, but it does I don't know, these chapters and maybe more than others just felt like more gossipy to me. What's that expression? Something about great minds, and I can't even think it because my mind is is so done. But the types of things that you choose to talk about, something like small minds talk about people, I heard it. Like some people talk about other people, some people talk about what happened. It's something like that. I can't think about it.
I can't remember.
But this section feels to me like that. Like it although there is a lot there in the things that she just kind of quickly mentions, W.E.B. Du Bois's death, MLK's assassination, abortion, the riots, police brutality. There was a lot of stuff, but because she doesn't go into it in any depth, I feel like it kind of leads you into these small conversations, instead of the great ideas kind of conversations that could come out of the things that she's just ticking off.
Yes. And I really understand what you're saying. And I also get the feeling that this would probably be a great screenplay for, a mini series or something on one of the platforms. So an actor could flesh out, these things to help you really understand the environment the character is going through as they develop into who they're going to be and their importance in the story. And I by no means am an editor or an expert on any of these things, but I know what I would like to see. And this is just like, it's like an appetizer where I would like to see, one or two characters really take on the issues that are just glossed over. And maybe it was a time constraint. Maybe it
was, but you got 800 pages, so that's why I'm wondering.
What else is there?
we 300 pages in now. We're still on the appetizer. Yeah. For instance, I did send myself a YouTube link to somebody reading the poem that's mentioned in here, Strong Men, by Sterling A. Brown. And so she says in the story that Jeff read that at one of the community meetings. Well, you could have just included the text of the poem, instead of telling us he's reading it, we could be reading it, That's what I mean. That it's.
Well, maybe that involves some copyright issues. I don't know, but yeah. I went and looked up the one because when they were talking about when Jeff and Belle were courting in college, he quoted her a few lines of Harlem Sweeties. And I'm like, I've never heard that poem before. So I went and looked it up, which is, nice. And I'm like, a few lines of this, that would have made, really, poignant addition to the colorism thing and how Belle was feeling about her skin and then him and how he just loved you. He loved women. Okay. He didn't care what your tone was. He loved women, which was shown later on, in life here.
He really loved them.
He loved them. Yeah. Oh my goodness.
So, but but I don't want to complain.
These are just observations. We're not complaining.
We're not complaining. Yeah.
We appreciate her work and diligence in this product that she's brought forth. So hey, we wouldn't be talking about nothing, right? If she didn't write it, right? Okay. So yes.
Yeah.
Love you,
and so I mean, I think overall, or I guess to put it in question form, thinking about the song 5, the piece about going up north, and these chapters going up north and there being an issue of employment, right? Mm-hmm. In fact, yeah. And so what would you see as like sort of the key message of these chapters or how they relate to Song 5?
So in the last line of that song, it says, the crucial question then is, what does the Black immigrant find to do? And so I think that is, the illustration of all of these chapters, which is live your messy life. That's what the Black immigrant has to do, survive the best way possible, because you're going to have a lot of stuff thrown at you from the inside, right? Your inner circle and the outside, the external, the system, the community's throwing stuff at you that you're going to have to deal with, change, adapt, or like poor Miss Martha did, you're going to have to go back home, right? To what's familiar and comfortable, the devil you know. So, and up north, Belle is having to deal with the devil she didn't know, and how people are how people are dealing with that devil as opposed to how she would, and I think I think that is the theme here. What do you find to do? Yeah, and
she was very lonely.
Yeah,
she was very lonely, and and also there's a theme here about women's liberation and, and so Belle goes from wanting to do graduate school at Columbia to having a baby and getting married and becoming the caretaker of her philandering husband.
Yeah.
While a white woman is trying to convince her, that her husband is a chauvinist, even when she doesn't see him that way. So there it really was a lot of change. I thought it was interesting how she did the, so you have the police brutality incident that sparked the riots. And then it seems like almost overnight, people were wearing afros and dashikis and, becoming a whole new kind of people. And, I was only a little girl in 1967. So I don't really know if it happened like that, but but that was a question for me. Was it that quick of a change, or was it more of a gradual process?
I kind of doubt it, because people, if you had a job, right, they, even like today, they expect you to look like the rest of the people working there. And when you stop looking like the rest of the people working there, you might not have a job. So I'm going to say it was gradual. Okay.
So that was her literary license. Yeah. Yeah. That makes sense to me.
Yeah. Yeah. Because look at, what is it, New York and the Crown Act? I mean, how it just speaks of the ridiculousness of the nation, where that is a thing that has to be legislated, right? Leave my hair alone. Okay. And give me my promotion. Dreadlocks or not. Okay.
Yeah. That's why I say it's not all over. We still have some real battles going on here.
Yeah. And then on the piece of abortion, that kind of reflects, today, like what did Oklahoma, they just passed their, making it a federal crime or something, whatever they did. Except in some, extenuating circumstances. But like the commentator said, she mentioned, well, that's just going to force all these women to go to outside sources, out of the state. So you're not going to stop a thing that was deemed a necessity. That's why, well, I guess we could say prostitution made it a necessity. The deaths of women because of the lack of healthcare and knowledge made it a necessity. So
rape.
Yeah. And this has been going on for a long time, whether or not it's been sanctioned by the church or government. So you might as well figure out how to make it work, for people who choose to do that, who choose to go that route. I mean, I just believe a woman's body, like a man's, is their own business. What you need to do or feel you need to do with it, these are your choices. You're going to have to live with them. And so,
right, nobody's going to be there with you, when it's time to raise the baby.
Yeah. And as a matter of fact, they might complain because it necessitates you having some sort of government support. right? Then all of a sudden you're welfare, prison, and you're sucking up resources. But hey, you took away that person's right to choose how they needed to live their life. So what do you want? You can't have it both ways. You can't condemn them and force them into a particular path. But America does it all the time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's not just Oklahoma. There are a lot of states that have passed these really draconian, laws lately. So I don't know, but I had not heard of most of those alternative abortion methods that she talks about in the book.
Yeah.
Drinking different potions and lotions and lotions.
Right. That scalding hot bath. I'm like, really? That healed you too. Okay.
Yeah, apparently the crochet needle is not a good way to go.
I'm like, wow. Wow. But that is similar to actual, I don't know if they still use this, an abortion technique in the hospital, whatever, where they actually do that, but they move it around and just, I'm like, wow.
The coat hanger.
Yeah. I'm like, wow, these is really some barbaric type of things. Why don't you just develop something that is more humane, if I can term it that way?
Yeah.
So people don't have to resort to these things.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, don't they have a pill now that you can take?
Yeah. Yeah.
I think they do.
Well, the only thing I remember is Plan B, and now they have, I think, a contraception, oral contraception. But I can't get out. Contraception for guys, so that ought to help. Okay.
That ought to help, yeah. But again, if you make all of these methods illegal, then you still end up forcing people to have to choose, the really dangerous, kind of things they can do on their own. It's just crazy.
Yeah, it is. And it is quite hypocritical, because if you claim you care so much about life, what about the people who are already here walking around?
Right. Right. So I don't know what's going on. I'm getting these pop-up messages on my Google. I don't know. Okay, what else? Women's role, or cooking all that food.
Oh my goodness. Like nobody else could Nobody else could cook. All them black women up in there, and they couldn't make no back. Wait a minute. He said that noodle dish. I'm like, what is he talking about? What did she make? And then she said macaroni and cheese. I'm like, Lord have mercy. I know somebody's Southern grandmother who moved up north made some macaroni and cheese. I thought that was a staple at church, church functions. Everybody had macaroni and cheese.
It was when I was growing up.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that was very odd to me. That was very odd, because even though they're living in the North, you're right, somebody's grandmother, Now, all the other stuff, like when Belle first got there and she met Miss Martha, the grocery store owner, and Miss Martha had some things that were not known to me, so there's definitely that kind of cultural change going from region to region, certain foods, but I just never would have imagined that macaroni and cheese was unknown to anybody anywhere.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. What'd you think about Diane?
Wow. Poor Diane.
She's too pushy. Yeah, she's too pushy for me.
But I kind of have to think of her as a representative, a conglomeration character of the enlightened white woman of the 60s and 70s, right? The piece where she says she brought Lawrence home, but he never even told her he wasn't white. Well, how you gonna want to marry this dude? Okay, he can't even be honest with you on that.
Right.
Yeah, I think she was, unfortunately, like a lot of characters in this, just a representation of an idea.
Yeah.
Of a type of person. So, she's free to be with either group, right? Because she thinks she's down, she's cool, she's enlightened, but yet she says things that Belle keeps reminding her would be offensive. Look, you ain't that down, okay? You still you can't be tough. Right. It's like, don't come around here saying nigga.
Right.
Don't say my nigga. Okay.
Right.
Not that she did, but that's the kind
right on the tip of her tongue, right?
Yeah. Hey. So, just I think she thinks she understands the experience because she's married to a Black man, but he's a Black man who has the ability to pass as a white man. So how much problems can they have when they go out together? Okay, people would say, oh, he's probably Italian, or something, right? But they want to say, oh, she up there coal burning. Oh, And so I don't think that they, as a couple, went through the kind of things that maybe Belle and Jeff might have gone through when they went out. And that's probably, I would have liked to have seen a scene like that to help explain, his gravitation towards Brother Zulu's way of life, this freedom, because he was in an academic setting, I guess I would have liked to be able to juxtapose Belle and his experiences in this, but it was kind of told from one perspective. So it's kind of like hearsay. So you don't get to see that. Because I think that's important. But maybe because the poem Harlem Cuties probably represents his mindset back then. And then this next piece represents his mindset that he's trying to be now. Right. So, but I have to say the grits part. Remember the grits reminded me of Al Green. I'm like, oh, it's Al Green
moment. The grits. One of the more jarring scenes for me was the insemination of the cow.
Yeah. So I haven't finished digesting that. And there's in the chapter besides, are you saying that men are looking at women like the cows and,
that the cows are breeders, as slave women were treated as.
Yeah. And then even though the rhetoric of the movement is that, yes, we're all free, we're brothers and sisters, yet still you got 3 wives there. I don't see nobody with 3 husbands. Okay. And they're still all wrapped up, right?
Yeah. And then there's the piece with, Claire's husband, whatever his name is, that comes up in the first chapter. That's Gandhi.
Yeah. I didn't put that together. I have to admit, as I was lost for a minute, I'm like, wait a minute, who we're talking about now?
No, there's so many characters, I know. But yeah, it hit me at a certain point when he was like holding the baby, Lydia, and he was so loving. I was like, wait a minute, this is Candy.
The pedophile. Oh my, that puts that whole scenario in a different light. His wife is the skin color conscious harpy, and he's like, no, Clark, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
and they sat on opposite sides of the room there, and Belle made the remark that there was no connection between them. There was no energy between them. So they're just 2 people habitating the same house. And I wonder if that's because, well, Gandhi had a predilection for toddlers.
Mm-hmm.
And Mom was like, I'm living the life. I don't even care.
Right.
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 Oh.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, there was quite a bit going on. But anyway, it is almost 7:00, Gio. So maybe we should wrap it up. And I'm so glad to see you on your birthday.
Yes. Oh, it's always good to see you.
Thank you. So can we handle all of section 6?
We're going to try.
Okay.
We can do this. We
can do this. And we'll, we'll be, the new schedule is what? We'll be done with this, but mid-May, the end of May, something.
Yeah, and that works. And I think reading it in these whole chunks is better because it gives you a whole piece to work with and see the parts much better,
Yeah.
So yeah. We can
Okay. Well, please enjoy the rest of your evening. And have a good week.
Thank you. And you too. And I hope you finish recuperating. So you can have another
I'm going right to bed.
Okay. Yeah, that's good. That's good recipe.
Okay. I'll see you next week.
All right. Bye-bye.